Welcome to Or Something Like That,
the podcast where you can talk shit with your besties.
We're your hosts, Sam
and Hollis. Be sure to follow us on social and subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode.
And if you love us, give us that 5-star review.
We back.
We're here.
Woo!
So,
we're just cutting it up today.
We're cutting it up. I need to know what your thoughts are on my hair.
It's gorge. I mean, their curl is incredible.
I did the viral sock curls.
No way.
These
it
are
worked?
The sock curls.
Wow. And it's really holding, because I feel like that's a problem you have. Is
Yeah.
You always say, like, it doesn't hold.
It doesn't hold. It's really
They're
holding.
so pretty.
They are. I like.
Yeah.
The only issue, and it's fine to have it like behind my ears, it was hard to like get it up high enough with the sock, because they kind of just, the weight of the sock kind of pulls it down a little bit. So, but yeah, I really am liking it.
Yeah, it looks like movie star curls.
Yeah, it
like
almost
vintage.
gives that vintage 40s curls.
Yeah, really pretty.
Yeah.
So what do you curl it with?
The sock.
The sock itself?
So you put the toe of the sock in your mouth, hold it out like this, and you just wrap the hair around the sock, and then you stick your hand inside the sock where you would normally stick your foot in, and you just pull that part up around the curls.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So I thought there was another mechanism in there, and the sock just held it. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's all sock.
Well, yeah, I'd say that worked out.
Yeah, so
fabulously.
I'm fully leaning in.
Yeah, and it wasn't how long did it take? Was it like a pain to do it? Or was
No,
it like...
no, it took 30 seconds to do each side. Now, I'm a side sleeper, so I did kind of have to, originally when I did them, they were really just like straight down by my ear. And I did do it a couple of hours before I actually went to bed, because my hair is so fine. And she did say to blow dry it and then do it when they're dry. I was a little skeptical about whether or not it was actually going to hold with my hair being dry, because it's so fine. So I was like, let me give myself a couple more hours. So I did it earlier in the night. And then when I did go to bed, I had to pull them back, like push them back to the back of my head a little bit so I could sleep. And it was fine. But I might, when I do them next time, just kind of hold them towards the back a little bit as opposed to like right down my ear. But I'm liking it so far. So
yeah, they look great.
Thank you.
Love when a viral trend
actually works.
Yeah.
I know. I couldn't believe it. I pulled them out this morning. I was like, okay. I mean, because you see them do
okay,
it.
beautiful.
I know. Like, she's gorgeous. She's stunning. When you see other people do it, it's like, okay, well, do they just have like totally different hair than me? And, you just never know. I mean, and sometimes you never know if it's even real. Like, did they just thin curl?
Right.
It's like, how real is it? So, yeah, I was pleasantly surprised.
Nice.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Who are these people who are sleeping on their backs? You said you're a side sleeper.
Yeah.
Are people back sleepers? It's impossible to me.
That's insane behavior to me. I don't understand that at all.
No. How do you breathe? How is that comfortable?
I don't know. I have no idea. For now, I've got my curls figured out. Although I don't know how much it matters. I don't know that I'll be going anywhere, because we also uncovered just how big of a loser I am this week. We did.
Who's we?
You and me. Uncovered just how big of a loser I am.
When? I don't remember this.
So we're recording this on Sunday. On Tuesday, we recorded, and Hollis has a coat rack. And
the world's worst coat rack.
And I hung my bag on the coat rack. And I did this before with an actual coat. It's something about the coat rack. Every time I hang something on it, I leave it here. So as I gathered my belongings to leave on Tuesday, just left it right there on the coat rack. And I realized it when I got home, and I thought, I mean, I don't think I really need it. Like, I'm not going anywhere.
It's just my wallet with all of my personal belongings, my ID, and my credit cards. All my essential belongings.
So I didn't even like message her, call her or anything. I was like, I'll just get it Sunday. And then she messaged me this a couple days later, probably.
No, it was last night. It was Saturday.
Was it?
Or maybe it was Friday, but it was like...
It was, 2 or 3 days after. Yeah. And she's like, oh my gosh, I have your bag.
I was like, is this your bag with your wallet in it? Like, have you been looking for this? Because you've done that before where you left a pair of shoes at my house, and I didn't realize, and I texted you like a couple weeks later, and you're like, I've been looking for those for 2 weeks.
With my inserts in them because I have a neuroma and my foot was hurting.
Not to add to the loserdom, but.
Yes. So not only am I a big fat loser because I have a neuroma in my foot, which is something that you just get from being old, apparently. But I also realized that my life is so uneventful that I did not need my purse or a credit card or ID or anything for about 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
So.
Well.
And that's essentially what I said when you were like, do you need this? I was like, no.
I mean, I could go without it.
Yeah, I'm good.
I mean, it's that time of year, though, I feel like. February, where it's just like nothing's going on. Nobody's doing anything.
That's
Nobody's
true.
leaving the house. I'm fighting the winter
My only
blues.
plan was picking up my mother from the airport. That was
a
my big
one.
plan. So I've all that to say, my hair's gorgeous. She's beautiful. She's stunning, but she's going nowhere.
Well, that's okay.
So.
You'll get somewhere someday.
Maybe. We'll see. I'm
mean,
gonna have to make up a plan.
Yeah.
Just so I can wear my curls.
You came here.
And my new thigh-high boots.
Oh, okay.
I've been wanting a pair of thigh-high boots, like over-the-knee boots, for probably 4 or 5 years. And I do feel like, even though I don't go anywhere or do anything, I'm kind of coming back into my really caring about what I'm wearing, my fashion era, quote unquote, now that I'm done having kids. And I feel like I can put a little more focus into it. Hopefully, like, my body won't be, like, physically changing as much as it was while I was pregnant and having babies. I'm pregnant and having babies. So I have been kind of dipping my toe back into the fashion world, if you will. And so I've been kind of on the hunt. And I found a beautiful pair of Vince Camuto thigh-high boots that were on a very, very good sale.
Nice.
For end of season sale. So I bought them.
Hell yeah.
And I'm putting together a little outfit in my mind. So we'll have to come up with some kind of plan. So that
I mean, once the spring weather hits, we'll be out there.
Right.
We'll be going places.
Now, I can't be too far into spring because they're thigh-high boots. So
Yeah, well, yeah.
We'll have to come up with some kind of just end of winter activity so I can wear my boots.
mean, it seems like it's going to be wintry for a little while still, so.
Puxatawny Phil did predict 6 more weeks of
freaking
winter.
snowed. Ugh, I'm so over it.
Yeah. So.
Well, you're not the only loser. I injured my knee stretching at the gym this week, so.
Yes. I have some experience
Doing
with
a
that as
stretch.
well.
And I was like, ooh, that didn't feel good. And then it's been hurting for 2 days. I was like, seriously? Come on.
I know. The knees and the back. They really,
They're going.
You got to protect. You got to learn how to protect the knees and protect the back. Yeah.
So that's been fun.
Great.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
What else is going on with me? Oh, this is kind of cool. I was very flattered and honored by this offer.
Okay.
So my volunteer situation asked me to be on the board.
Oh, very exciting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I spoke with the woman who's the head of the organization yesterday. We were kind of going over some projects because I'm doing graphic design volunteer work for them.
Okay.
And I've been going a couple times in person, but they also asked if I would do that. And she was like, I really loved meeting you the other day. We have a board opening. We really need someone to fill it who can do what you do.
Right.
She's like, I think you're great. Would you like to do it? And I was like, yeah.
That's great.
I know. I'm pretty excited about
Awesome.
it. Feels like a cool responsibility. And she was like, do you have any experience with board work? And I was like, nope. Not a lick. She's like, that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
Very
I'm excited about
cool.
that. I know. It feels
Congratulations.
very adult. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very mature.
I know.
You're
Growing
really
up.
coming into your
I'm really hitting my
adulthood.
stride.
Yeah.
My adult stride.
Yes.
So,
Nice.
yeah.
Well, I have an update on my 2025 resolutions as well.
Cool.
I did place my February order.
Sorry, I don't remember.
I know, it's okay.
Oh, okay.
This was one of the things I said I was going to do in 2025. Instead of just impulsively buying things, I was going to make a monthly list and then limit myself to that list. And I sort of had this idea that when I went back to the list, I would be over a lot of the things anyway, which was true.
True. Nice.
Yes, I only ordered less than half of the things that were on it. So
Nice.
I did start my castor oil navel pulling.
Oh.
Which is slightly more vapid than your board position.
Well.
However,
It's okay. We're here for it all.
yes, we're here for it all. That's right. So we'll see. Last night was the inauguration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any immediate results?
I mean, I wasn't bloated this morning, but I really kind of haven't been much because of the armra. I swear that stuff's great. So yeah, we'll see. I'll keep everybody updated because I know that people were just really on pins and needles about that. But
well, I mean, I kind of was. I was curious to hear what was going to happen.
And another thing that I've learned about castor oil, which I didn't know this either, is I guess it's really great for like hair nourishment and growth, and people put it on their eyebrows and eyelashes.
Oh,
so I'm doing that too.
Ooh,
yeah.
Ooh,
and it's supposed to be made for a great hair mask too.
Nice.
So I think also I'm gonna start putting it on these little
wispies, baby
spots
hairs.
So I might try just rubbing it in there and
see
seeing how that
put it
does.
all over.
Yeah,
you know, just dive right in.
Yeah, why not? Yeah. So yeah,
heck yeah.
There's an update on that.
Update. It's the sound effect for update. What?
I mean, not to just like fully skip right to one of my grapes, but I have to now because you did that.
Ooh.
My grape was literally creating sound effects for your life.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Cool. Like what? Like what else? Like give me an example.
I mean, really just anything that you're doing.
Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah.
You said the good. Yeah.
Yeah. Or just,
cha-ching.
Yeah. And like little drum rolls and yeah.
Are you doing these in your head or out loud?
Out loud.
Heck
yes.
Yeah. I'm fully on board with
that.
And
especially when you have kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Anyway.
I'm gonna have to try that out.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
I mean, I feel like it's something that we kind of do in our friendship anyway, but
yeah. I really do. I like making sounds for when Suki walks. She goes beep boop beep boop beep boop beep boop beep 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 beep. She's a little beep boop.
Yeah.
Sound effects are fun. Yeah. I gotta keep it live.
You gotta keep things interesting. You know? Absolutely. Yeah. You gotta keep things interesting.
Are we total losers or what?
What?
Are we total losers?
Yes, we've established that. We are absolute losers. Okay. We are nerds.
But we're having a good time. That's all
That's all that matters. Yes, it is.
Oh my gosh. I'm so jealous. What I would not give to have gone to this. I know you don't like SNL, but it's their 50-year anniversary and they just had this huge concert. Oh my God. To be in that room. Lauryn Hill and Wyclef Jean performed.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that was like the big, I think that was kind I a surprise too. The Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
Fucking
We're supposed
David
to be
Byrne.
boycotting them.
I know. Oh, well, I did kind of think, I was like, I hope they booted Nick out of it.
No, they didn't. We talked about that before.
Yeah.
And weird. I don't think that episode ever aired because we recorded that a long time ago. But yeah, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, there's a documentary out there, Carter versus Carter, maybe something like that. It's about Nick and Aaron both. Yeah, some not great allegations out there, and really just the rest of the band just really standing behind Nick, which we don't know what happened, but it didn't seem great.
No. It just seemed like a lifetime of bad stuff going on.
Yeah.
And Aaron Carter's life seemed just tragic.
Yeah. Sad. So
anyways, the concert looked amazing and I really wish I could have gone. And then they did a whole bunch of like reenactments of old skits and I was just like, God, that looks so fun. And everybody, just like every cool famous person was there, like all the cool celebrities.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Just like, dang, I want to go.
Yeah, to be a fly on the wall. Yeah.
I would give a lot of things to see Lauryn Hill perform.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just so cool.
It's not that I don't like things that are funny.
Well, sketch comedy is kind of
it's a different animal,
acquired taste.
Yeah,
and SNL can be really funny and it can be really not funny. You know?
Yeah, it's really hit or miss for me, and it's just never really been my type. Of comedy.
No, I get that. I think that's totally fair.
Except, I say that, but then like one of my favorite movies of all time is
Night at the Roxbury.
I do love Night at the Roxbury.
Okay, Night at the Roxbury slaps and it's still funny. I watched it recently.
Yeah.
I feel like it got a bad rap, but that shit is hilarious.
Yeah, it is really good. That's not what I was gonna say, but that is a good one.
Superstar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Superstar. Yeah, the best. Love it. And I will say,
Your birthmark looks like shit.
I will say Molly Shannon, I love. You know, I have certain SNL people that I like, and I do love her. I really enjoyed too. Did you ever watch? It was on Max or HBO. The Other One or The Other Kid. The Other One. Molly Shannon is the mom to this kid who's like a pop star.
Oh,
and he has a brother and sister.
This sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I don't think I actually watched it, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Is
was
it good?
Yes.
I'll have to check it out. She's been in a couple things of recent. Well, she was in White Lotus.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was great in it. Yes.
Yeah, she was really good.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always loved her. So, I mean, there are certain people that I do like. And it's not that I like Will Ferrell. I like a lot of his movies. And the funny thing is, like, and it could just be maybe that particular type of comedy, although I do feel like Chevy Chase's comedy and his movies are similar to his comedy in SNL. I do not like the Chevy Chase SNL stuff, but I love Vacation.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
He's an odd one. Like, his comedic take is strange to me a little bit. Like, in the Vacation movies, he's hilarious, but, like, I don't think he's particularly that funny in anything else,
because that's
really.
what people will always say to me when I say, like, they're like, oh, but what about the old skits with, like, Chevy Chase and Christopher Walken? And, like, and I'm like, you know,
well,
even
and I feel
those are not really my taste, I
always
guess.
loved SNL because I feel like when I started watching as a kid, it was such a great era.
Right.
You know, it was the late 90s, early 2000s when Will Ferrell, Sherry O'Terry. I mean, it was hysterical. And then we went into like Kristen Wiig and all the really great female cast members. And now I don't really watch it so much anymore. Every once in a while, I'll watch it, and I'll watch it like, you know, later on streaming or whatever, when somebody good is on. And it's still funny from time to time, but it's different now too, because they've had to evolve with time, which I think they should have. A lot of their skits are like pre-recorded. Yeah. I mean, a lot of them are live too, but they're videos. Right. Which is cool. I'm not anti. Right. But it's just, it doesn't hit quite like it used to. Right. But it's still, they still get some bangers from time to time. Yeah. It's just not like every episode I'm laughing at all the skits, which I feel like is what it used to be. Yeah. But, you know, it ebbs and flows. Like,
just like anything. Absolutely.
Yeah, cast to cast. But speaking of that, though, I am so excited. Conan O'Brien is hosting the Oscars this year.
That'll be good.
Yes. I am pumped.
Yes. We'll have to do a whole recap.
Yeah.
Because Why does it have to be on Sunday night at like 9 o'clock, though? That's my only.
It does start too late. But I love Conan O'Brien. I think he's like the funniest person on the planet. He's going to be so good.
Yeah, that'll be good. That's exciting. Is it going to be on Peacock? It's like one of those things. It's always on a network
to watch.
Yeah, and it's now everybody's making all those jokes about like, man, I wish everybody would just like put all the streaming services together and come out with one package. And it's like cable. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I'm excited about that. I never know anymore. Like, I used to love watching the Oscars when I was a kid, and I still do. Every once in a while, I'm like, why do I like this? But there's just something like nostalgic and fun about it.
Yeah, it is. And I do wonder too, like how I'm sure we could find out. Although I feel like I've tried to, and it's like one of these things that's like some like big protected secret of like how they choose.
Isn't it just like the Academy votes?
Yeah, but like who is the Academy?
Yeah, I mean it's like I don't know how you get
and how is there like a separate voting process for nominees and then a separate you know what I mean? Like how does it all work?
It's not very transparent, I guess.
No, yeah. Well, and even just like the categories too. The fact that there really is there a comedy category now for the Oscars?
There isn't, which is insane.
It's insane. And like even I've heard people saying there should be not only a comedy category, but then a separate stand-up comedy category because people put specials out and like they deserve to win awards too. And the fact that there's not a horror category.
Yeah, it's weirdly selective.
Yeah. And as a horror fan, like I get that there's a lot of like low budget, you know, movies and but there's also a lot of movies that have very, very high production budgets and are great commentary. So, yeah, I mean, the fact that The Substance was nominated for the Golden Globes.
Right.
So, what category was that?
Dramatic film?
Was it?
I think so.
So, I mean, at least maybe we're making some headway, but...
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, would you consider that a horror film? The Substance?
Horror comedy, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
horror comedy.
It's body horror. Absolutely.
Is
it's
it
horror comedy.
Is
Absolutely.
it comedic? Or is it horror comedy like a category that I'm not familiar with?
Yeah, horror comedy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I read it.
Yeah.
And it didn't quite get there for horror comedy to me, like, fully until the very end, the very last scene. But yes, I would consider that a horror comedy.
Nice.
Yes, a very,
cool.
very dark horror comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to watch that.
It's good.
And that's another thing, too, is so many of the past years, I haven't seen hardly any of the movies.
I know. I usually try to, like, watch some of them.
I need to do that.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what's nominated this year, so I need to.
Yeah, I know The Brutalist, but I haven't watched that. Let's look it up.
Let's look and see. I haven't watched hardly any movies this year.
I haven't either. TV's just been dominating.
I know. Okay. Oh, Anora. I want to see that. Yeah, that's...
Everyone's raved about it. My mom didn't think it was that great, but I don't know. Oh, this one.
Perez.
Have you been following the tea about this?
Amelia Perez?
One of the women who's nominated.
Emilia? How do you say it? Amelia?
Amelia.
Amelia?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's
No,
her name?
I haven't.
I think she was nominated for Best Supporting or something. One of the women in it is like
Carla Sofia
Gascon. Apparently,
Selena Gomez is in this.
apparently it came out that all of these incredibly racist tweets of hers have been unearthed.
Great.
And like wild.
Right.
Just like, oh my God. And I mean, I don't think they were that long ago.
Right.
Don't quote me on that. They may have been. I mean, I think they were maybe years ago, but not like.
But she doesn't look that old, so they can't have been that long ago.
That's Selena Gomez.
Oh.
But yeah.
But she looks different. She blonde?
Does. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I've heard. I have not seen this. It's supposed to be really weird.
Yeah, I don't know anything about
movie.
it, so I'm interested.
Yeah.
I definitely will be watching Anora. That's on my list. Wicked, of course. Oh,
that
yes.
actually surprises me that's nominated.
There's been a lot of talk about that and hoping that they don't get snubbed the way the Barbie girls did.
Oh, yeah. Did you watch Wicked?
You know I didn't.
Oh, yeah, of course you didn't. I don't know
We
why
talked
I thought
about
you would.
this.
Yeah.
I probably should. And you know what? I might, simply because as much as I'm not a theater girly, I do love a musical. I mean,
you do?
Yes. I love The Sound of Music. We watched Mary Poppins,
Yeah.
which Mary Poppins is not my absolute favorite, but I enjoyed it. Last night we watched Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, so maybe I should watch it. Maybe I'll like it.
Yeah, 5-year-old would probably love it.
Yeah. So maybe I should give it a chance. I mean,
it is.
I just don't like to go to the theater.
Oh, I get that.
Maybe.
I get that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You know? Although, again, Hamilton can kick rocks. I didn't, whatever. I was not into it. So yeah, that'll be fun. Do a little recap episode on the Oscars.
Fun. There's a sound effect for you.
Yes.
I don't know how that related to having fun, but when you shoulder shimmy, that's what made me.
Well, any sound effect relates to having fun in my book. So, okay, I have to bring up, because 'tis the season. What is your take on Girl Scout cookies?
Oh, yeah, I think they're fun. I love a Thin Mint, and there's like one other one that I love, but yeah, I mean, I'm pretty meh about them.
Yeah, they do nothing for me.
I do love Thin Mints, and I'm always like, oh, a Thin Mint, but
I mean, really, like, what is so great about a Thin Mint?
I mean, just you don't really get mint chocolate in cookie form very often.
Yeah,
and they're just like simple, and they're really good if you put them in the freezer.
You know, that's what everyone always says.
And they're like one of those cookies where you can just like crush a sleeve and yeah.
I do like, the only one I really like, and even this one is like pretty mediocre in my book, is it the tag-alongs? Are those the peanut butter ones with like the chocolate and peanut butter?
Outer? Yeah, those are pretty good too.
You know, they're all right. I mean,
I hate the samosas.
The coconut ones.
Everyone goes nuts over those, but
no, thank you.
Yeah, they're fun and like I like them. I'm not like, oh fuck yeah, Girl Scout cookie season.
And like I get that like making a shelf stable cookie, it's just not going to be as good as like a fresh baked cookie.
Yeah,
you know, it's like they have literally nothing on a fresh baked cookie of any kind.
Oh no, no. And they just keep coming out with weird options. Like they have a new one. I think they like come out with a new one
every year, don't they? No. I just never like got into the craze.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
Yeah,
I mean.
Not that I don't wish the Girl
them
Scouts well.
Yeah.
Best of luck to you. I just...
I love a young entrepreneur. I used to really jam on them when I was younger, of course. But, you know, they just are what they are now.
Right.
Except for a Thin Mint. I do love a Thin Mint.
Yeah.
I'll stand a Thin Mint for all time.
Yeah, that seems to be the big consensus, the old Thin Mint.
Yep. Yeah. They're really great in ice cream, too.
I could see that, maybe.
Yeah.
I do feel like mint is a little controversial with dessert.
Oh, it is. I feel like it's either you love it or you hate it.
Yeah, because I think we talked about how great an Andes mint is.
Oh my god, creme de la creme,
the creme de la creme of the chocolate and mint
of the
marriage.
Creme de menthe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, the elite of the elite, and then
so good. That's the best part of Olive Garden.
Oh, absolutely.
They give you a little
and a
Andes
nice
mint
hotel.
Yeah,
right on your pillow.
Yeah,
nothing better.
Give them
5 stars.
Yeah, so great.
And then how pretty mid York peppermint patties.
It's too powerful.
Yeah.
Talk about, because I hear a lot of people.
It's like Listerine covered in chocolate.
I know, because I hear a lot of people say they don't like mint because it's like brushing your teeth. And I was like, way to ruin it for me. That's gross. That's like never even crossed my mind.
Yeah.
But that's why they probably had a peppermint patty and we're like, what the hell?
Yeah, you might as well just cover a Listerine strip in chocolate.
Yeah, it's too much. It's not a treat. It's like a sentence.
Yeah.
It's like a punishment.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you had a crumble cookie?
Yes.
I'm on the fence of those sometimes too, because their sugar cookies slap. They're really good.
Yeah.
But they're so intense.
They're so rich.
Yeah, they're so rich. You can't like really eat a whole one.
No.
Which like I want to crush.
I want to crush a cookie. That's right. And
that's right.
I think they're good, but yeah, I like a rich dessert.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not one who like turns my nose up to everything that's rich. Some people are that way. I feel like they just can't handle the richness of things when it comes to like sugar and stuff, which I get, it's, you know, but there's something about those that it is too much.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Yeah.
You're doing too much.
Right.
Do less.
Yeah. And I went there one time and got it and it like wasn't cooked all the way through. It was like raw in the middle.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, this is no bueno.
Yeah.
You know what are also going crazy these days are donuts.
Yeah.
Donuts have like, it's hard to go to a donut shop and just get like a regular donut. Now they're all these like insane gigantic concoctions with like all this stuff.
It's like a Bloody Mary.
Yeah. It's nuts. It's just like, and the thing is they're good, like they taste good, but it's like, this is a whole thing,
right?
You know, it's too much.
Yeah,
sometimes.
Do you remember Otis Spunkmeyer
cookies? Oh my god, the smell alone of
my
those
high
cookies.
School.
Yes.
We
had
had
that little oven.
Yes, and they would come out fresh, hot, gooey, and they would be making them. And if I got to school early enough, I could get down there and buy one hot off the press.
Oh, baby.
Right before homeroom and
Nothing
have enough
better.
time to get there on time and just
they were
the best
so
breakfast.
soft and moist, and they held their softness too.
Oh yeah.
Pita Pit. I used to work at Pita Pit. Holler.
Shout out.
Shout out. They had Otis Spunkmeyer cookies.
Nice.
Oh god, they were so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were the days.
Yeah.
I get so excited.
Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah.
The dankety dank.
Super dank.
I actually here's a little baking tip for everybody. This is probably not revolutionary, but I was making rollout sugar cookies with my 5-year-old for Valentine's Day, and I realized I was out of sugar. They were rollout sugar cookies, and I was like, damn it. So I was like, well, I'm just going to put brown sugar in them. So I did. They were better.
That's awesome. I could see that.
It was more like the flavor of a chocolate chip cookie without the chocolate chips, because chocolate chip cookies have like half and half, typically brown and white sugar, and they were just delicious.
Yeah, I imagine it would be kind of caramely.
Yeah, the molasses made them a little like chewier as opposed to like kind of cakier.
Yeah.
Like a sugar cookie. And don't get me wrong, I like a good sugar cookie. And this is a good sugar cookie recipe. They do turn out good. But yeah, I think I'll just make them like this going forward.
Nice. Makes me want to make some cookies.
Yeah. So, try it.
I'll do that later. The problem about being single and baking is that like you bake stuff
and then
I have to eat all of it, or you have to be that
person that
loser
takes
it into work all the time.
Yeah.
Just like, ugh. I also don't want to be that person.
I don't think people find that to be particularly losery.
No,
I don't think so.
I mean, maybe it's not necessarily losery, but it's like, I don't know. It feels losery to do it for some reason.
I think in an office setting, people like a little afternoon pick-me-up.
Yeah.
A little cup of coffee.
I will
say,
at work, I work in like a large corporate setting now. There is always a cake. Always.
Oh, there's always a celebration.
There's always a cake somewhere.
Somebody's retiring, somebody's birthday. So, yeah.
And there's like these 2 big fridges in the kitchen area, which is always stuffed with people's lunch boxes.
Oh, yeah.
And there's never enough room because there's always
Karen's salad.
There's always a giant sheet cake in there with like 4 pieces left. It's just like, who's monitoring the cake this week? Because we gotta make some room.
Yeah. Get the cake out of the fridge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The good old office party. Another thing that I need to bring up is this is something that I've thought about a lot since having kids. How do names get popular?
Oh, that's a good question because they really do have like go through phases.
Yes, and they're very generational. When I think about like our parents' generation, like a name like Bruce comes up. There were a lot of Bruces.
There were. Now you don't hear Bruce.
You're not going to meet a baby named Bruce.
Baby Bruce.
It's just, and even when we think about people our age, nobody named Bruce. And then when I do think about people our age, I think about Brittany. I know so many Brittnys. There's a million Brittnys. And then when you think about, there's no baby Brittnys. And there's also nobody our parents' age named Brittany.
There's no elderly Brittnys.
No.
But they're about to be.
There's about to be, yeah. And so it just got me thinking about it. And I'm like, how does a particular name just like get into the zeitgeist for that time? Especially now because we're in this era of like nobody tells their name ahead of time, right? Nobody says
when you're having a baby.
When you're pregnant. Yeah. Nobody wants to say it. Nobody says the name until the baby's born. You also are not naming your baby after other babies. You're pretty conscious of like wanting to keep your name kind of unique. Mm-hmm. And then at the same time, all these other parents that have kids your kids' ages, you're not even really meeting them until your kids are all kind of in school together. And then you all have these kids that are like named the same things. Like, how does this happen? It's so bizarre to me.
It is. I know. And it's just like, these are the most popular names.
But then when you think about that, when you see like popular baby names, those are the names everybody's avoiding.
Yeah.
You know, because you're like, you don't want to name your kid the popular baby name.
Right.
Because when I think about my kids' names, I know I could name maybe a handful of people with my oldest kid's name that are like famous. I don't know anyone personally. But I have heard her name, you know, and it's not like a super unique name. It just wasn't very popular with our generation.
Yeah, it's an older name.
But yeah, it's just, I would really love to understand the data on that.
Yeah.
Like, how do names just like really get popular for a specific generation when nobody's really trying to do it? You're almost trying not to do it.
Right.
And then somehow we're doing it.
I think that about animals. I feel like animals become popular. Like owls were really hot.
Yes.
Every
Llamas.
piece of merchandise, had an owl
avocados.
or an owl or a llama on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Why are avocados trendy?
I don't know.
I get diapers and they have avocados on them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Know,
it's
yeah.
just like
I know, it's weird. Yeah, remember when bacon was a thing? Everyone made jokes about bacon constantly, and it was like a personality that you were like, I love bacon.
Yes.
That was like a whole trend.
We had bacon stickers.
Yeah, I know. Bacon Band-Aids, everything. I mean, I guess that's just capitalism, where it's like
guess.
any way somebody can figure out how to make a dollar out of
I
something.
guess that makes a little more sense than the names to me,
Yeah.
because like somebody can just make it popular.
Right.
But how do you just make a name popular? You know?
Yeah, well, and I feel like I could see it making more sense like way further back generations.
Me
where it was
too.
just like there were only so many options and things were much more like
a lot of
stringent.
biblical names, a lot of people were drawing from a lot of the same inspiration.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's not so much like that, and I feel like if anything, we're really resistant to the idea of our child having the same name as someone else.
Yeah.
So we like actively take measures against it, but then somehow we're all still doing it.
Right. A lot of atlases. You know, everyone's trying to come up with unique names. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember, you know, a couple of names that we liked for boys if we had a boy, and
what were they?
Well, Kurt didn't like any of the same ones I don't
Brandon?
know what. Oh my God, Brandon Branson. I was like, absolutely not. He's like, well, I just like, you know,
all the Brandons out there. Nothing wrong with the name.
No, but
Brandon
it's the Brandon Branson
yeah.
of it all, like the two together, and that's what he liked about it. And I was like,
Brandon Branson.
No. And what did he say? I'll never forget this. What did he say? For the girl, Brenda. Brenda
Branson.
I was like, no.
You want your child to be named Brenda Branson?
Again, no offense to the Brendas out there.
No, it's not the name. Brandon's a lovely name, and so is Brenda. But together, BB.
Yeah, we were not doing BB. I just wasn't doing it.
You know, 100%, I would call her BB.
Oh, for sure.
For him, BB.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what we would have done had we had a boy, because we couldn't agree on anything.
Yeah.
And my husband is one of those that like he didn't have a lot of input aside from Brandon, but he was very much like, I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm like, okay, well then you have to participate.
Let's pitch some ideas.
Yeah. My top 3 for boys were Arlo, which is, there's a lot of Arlos now.
And I do like that name.
I like it too. Rhett, Rhett Butler,
yeah.
and Ezra.
Yeah.
I like those 3. And he was like, no. And I was like, not even Rhett. And I think he said,
yeah, that seems like right up his alley.
He said, of course, he knew a Rhett and he didn't like him. I'm like, you did not know a Rhett. I'm like, you are lying. Point him out. Reveal him.
What's his
what
last
Rhett?
name?
Butler? Because no, you didn't know a Rhett.
Oh, that's funny.
And Ezra, I actually think is a Jewish name, but he was a character in a Michael Corita book that I loved the character. Nice. So that was what that was after. And then Arlo, I just liked Arlo Guthrie, you know. Yeah. But yeah, I go to the playground. I go to these places.
Arlo.
Yes, there's Arlos. A lot of like
a lot of Lynn names with Lynn at the end.
Yes.
And a lot of Y names.
Yeah.
That's a thing. That's a trendy thing.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things to do at the playground is just like listen to the other kids' names. Yeah.
You know, Hollis has been popping up. Yeah. Girls too, which is surprising because Hollis is always an older man's name. Yeah. I mean, my entire life I met like 2 Hollises and they were elderly gentlemen,
they were.
Which was cool. But when I moved to New Orleans, there were a couple little girls that I ran into, or parents who had a little girl named Hollis, and I was like, no way. Huh.
Yeah. Sick. Nice. Yeah. So yeah, I just was thinking, I think about that a lot. I'm like, how does this happen?
Yeah.
So
I think our brains work more similarly than we think.
And like I said before about older generations drawing from a lot of the same inspiration, I suppose we probably are too. It's just the inspiration is coming to us in a different form. Yeah. Because we have the internet and all this stuff now. So yeah, anyway, I just think it's interesting that somehow we're all doing the same thing, even though we're trying not to.
Yeah, we're all trying to be cool and unique.
Right.
But none of us are.
Except for Elon.
Oh, God, don't even get me started.
He's being unique for sure. So.
And Kanye, he's unique.
Oh, I heard they're headed for divorce. Did you see that?
Yeah, huge shocker.
The other thing, we didn't talk about her Grammy dress. Or lack
thereof, yeah. Wasn't she just naked in a coat?
Pretty much. It was just like mesh, I think.
Also, it's just like
nude
Kanye.
mesh.
He's so sad. He's such a joke now where like them showing up just seems so desperate too, where it's like he's supposed to be this, he gives off this, I don't care about anybody, I'm too good for all of this, but yet you're still showing up to the Grammys trying to like cause a spectacle. Like, what? It's just like, ugh, it's sad.
Yeah, you're not above anything. Like,
no, you're trying desperately to be in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I do feel like, obviously this is just speculation, literally based off pictures. She looked like an empty void.
Yeah.
She looked like a prisoner.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if in a couple years she comes out with like
some wild
or
shit.
just is finally like, yeah, that was the worst time of my life, and recounts the relationship as incredibly toxic. I would not be shocked by that.
I wouldn't either. I don't really know anything about them, and I know nothing about her aside from being married to him.
Either.
But
and that she looks shockingly like Kim Kardashian.
Yes. But yeah, she looked like a literal shell of a person in those pictures.
I heard a lot of accounts of like their interaction, or it really much felt like he was like conducting the whole thing, directing her, and like she was just kind of like
gross.
Yeah. Because his ex-girlfriend Julia Fox. Do you know who Julia Fox is?
Yes. Yes.
I love Julia Fox.
Yeah, I do too. I do too.
I think she's awesome. But yeah,
have you read her book?
No,
I want to. I haven't read it either, but
I think she's so cool. But she's said the same thing because they dated for a while, and I think she's finally starting to make statements like, "Yeah, it was not great."
Yeah, and it was very short lived. They weren't really even an item. I don't think. I think the only time I've really heard her talk about it was when she was on Watch What Happens Live.
Yeah,
and she was just kind of like, but like,
it was whatever. It was just a blip.
Yeah.
She did some, it wasn't Cribs, but it was something kind of like Cribs. They were like, show us your apartment. And her apartment is just like so regular. Like she has like a totally normal.
She puts all of her energy into
it's small. It's like filled with stuff. She like didn't really clean up, and I was just like, I love that. Yeah, that's awesome. That's what's up. She's like, I keep all my shoes in the kitchen.
Yeah, nice. She's pretty cool. Yeah, for sure. She'd be someone who'd be fun to hang out with.
Yeah, she keeps it real.
Yeah, like that would be genuine, I think, and just like a good time.
Yeah.
Of course, they say don't meet your heroes, but you never know.
You never know. Oh my God, did you see that guy who got swallowed up by a whale?
Yes.
How terrifying.
I mean, that's like one of my biggest fears. I mean, honestly, like the ocean is so scary.
It's like straight up Pinocchio.
Yes.
I mean, I guess I just watched like a little interview clip I've scrolled through on social media where he was like recounting. And I guess it was like really quick. Like spit him right back out. Thank God. But oh my God. The ocean is wild.
It's so wild.
People who scuba dive, I mean, it would be so cool to see all that stuff. Like, I'm not saying it's not cool and probably an incredible experience.
Too scary for me.
How do you have the balls?
I don't know.
You're so vulnerable. The ocean terrifies me.
It terrifies me too, and I don't know if I've talked about this on the podcast, but it's something I feel like that comes up pretty regularly in conversations with just people in general. I'm a very risk adverse person. I do not like doing anything like that. I by no means seek out adrenaline experiences. I am the type of person who just gets scared and then I am having a terrible time.
Right.
I don't want to go whitewater rafting. I don't want to go into a cave. I don't want to scuba dive. I do like to snorkel, but very much the type of snorkeling where you go on a boat and you can see the land everywhere you are, and like you don't go that far from the boat and it's not very deep, you know? I do enjoy it. It's a very enjoyable experience. I do think the ocean is beautiful. I think it would be cool if you're the type of person that can get past that, which obviously a lot of people are. But yeah, for me, it's a hard no.
And I mean, I wish I was, because I would love to go down and see all the cool stuff in the ocean.
Yeah.
But, oh my God, there's just way too much scary
Earth
stuff.
is good for me.
Yeah. And, you know, I'm not a strong swimmer.
Right. Can you even swim? We know.
My past swimming experiences.
Yeah, we know about your swimming history.
Because that's a whole other thing with scuba diving. It's not just the creatures, because there's so many insane creatures at any turn. Well, but it's also like the vulnerability of drowning.
Yes. And that whole like pulmonary embolism thing that can happen if you are so many feet down. Like you have to be really careful about like not ascending too quickly. And like, there's you know, of course there's horror movies about it. And I really like, people make this joke all the time too when I say this, like I really like survival horror. And people are like, oh, it's all survival horror. Okay. Got it. I've never heard that one before. But I do like a lot of the ocean survival
Yeah.
Or there was
Yeah, because it's so scary.
because it's so scary. There was one of the first kind of like that. I think it was just called Open Water,
I remember that.
which is based on the true story of that couple
Yeah.
that got left behind. That movie is terrifying.
Horrifying. Yeah. No, thank you. I mean, I don't even like to go in the ocean, really. Like, I like to be on the beach. I love the ocean.
Yeah.
I think it's so calming. I love being by the water.
Yeah.
But unless I can't,
I will
unless I
go
can
in
see through the water.
Yeah,
I do not like going in it past my knees.
I will go in at pee depth if I have to, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
And that's only if it's an emergency.
And,
and you
yeah.
have to be.
One, for the creatures. There's so many creatures. No way. And two, do not fuck with waves and the strength of
riptides.
the water. Yeah. Like, it's
Hell no.
so dangerous.
I cannot believe that people surf.
Oh, I know. Crazy. A girl was just, I don't want to put out bad talk about sharks because I know the shark population gets, scrutinized, and they're like wonderful animals, and everyone's like, don't talk bad.
No, I know.
It's like pit
Okay.
bulls, they're like, don't talk bad about sharks because they're not that
Okay,
dangerous. Because we
great.
are up in their biome.
Right.
But a girl in Australia
that's the point.
was killed in a shark attack recently.
Yeah.
It's just like, can
But
you
that's
imagine?
the point. Don't go in their fucking biome.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It's
I
like,
know.
well, I'm not giving the sharks a bad reputation. It's
Yeah.
the people. Get out of their space.
Yeah, I know. It's so scary.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't know. It's not for me. So,
Yeah. No, thanks. I love the ocean, but I like to observe it.
yes,
Yeah.
beach bum for sure.
Yeah.
Love the beach.
I'm also not really made for the beach so much. It's not my first choice of
It's
vacation.
not,
I like the
yeah.
ocean, but I like to like walk by it for a little while. There's nothing worse to me. This sounds so unfun. A day where you have to pack all your shit, drive to the beach, carry all your stuff to the beach that's crowded with a bunch of people, sit in the blazing hot sun with no coverage, try to eat. That sounds miserable to me.
Yeah.
I like a beach experience where it's like
You just
can
walk out.
Walk out to it.
Yeah.
And wander around.
And then walk
leave.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a little cloudy.
Yeah. On our honeymoon, we went to Punta Cana, and this was probably the best beach experience I've had. Our pool area of the hotel just like butted right up to the beach. So you could just go back and forth from the pool deck to the beach. And the back part of the beach, like closest to the pool deck, had all of these, I would say anywhere from like 6 to like 12-foot palm trees.
Oh, nice.
And it created this whole canopy.
Oh, that's
and
lovely.
so you could just lay in the shade there, and then you could walk out to the sunny part of the beach, do whatever you want to do, come back, and it was great.
I will say
I didn't have kids yet either, so
I will say all of this perspective is coming from an American beach point of view because
Yeah.
I have never been to a tropical beach.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's like a totally different.
I think
Totally
it depends
different
on where
game.
you are. And then
Yeah,
once
yeah.
you have kids, it's like,
Ugh.
yeah.
Sorry, but I feel
Yeah.
like that takes all the fun out of a beach.
Yeah.
But maybe not.
It takes some away and then it adds
That's
some.
something, yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
so it's just you go through it. When they're little, it is a lot of stuff, and
That's
it
what
can
I'm
be kind
picturing
of-
of like a crowded day at the beach where it's just
Yeah.
like this is a lot of work.
yeah, and we're fortunate enough to be able to do this. I know everybody has different budgets and things like that, but we've been able to stay or go to beaches where you can pay somebody to set up the chairs and umbrellas so you don't have to lug that stuff yourself.
that's
So it's
nice,
like
yeah.
all we really had was a beach bag.
Yeah.
So, it wasn't
Yeah,
so bad.
that's doable.
Grapes
Well, I feel
and
like-
gripes?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So I said one grape already. My second grape is just the smell of an old record, an old LP. There's just something about that smell that's so nostalgic, and it really isn't like the best smell. It's like probably just like wet moldy cardboard.
Yeah.
But it hits.
Yeah. No, there's like old books are like that
Yeah,
too. Yeah.
I love pulling an old record out of the record shelf, and like it's just like
That's what is so nice about playing records. It's like it's all those things.
yes,
It's the
full
ritual
sensory
of it. Yeah.
experience. Yeah. Agreed. Yeah, I like doing that with my kids. It's nice, because my
You can
oldest
tell them
likes
about-
to
yeah.
pick the record, and we use the Alexa too and have playlists. But I like to this is how it should be.
Yeah.
This is the experience of it, and really especially on holidays, we're big Christmas record people.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's so nice. Yeah, that adds a whole other like element.
I think so too.
That's a good grape.
My gripe, I have two. The first one is one of my toxic traits is when I find something like on the floor or on a shelf or just somewhere in the house that I don't know what it is, I set it on this little ledge in our kitchen with the intent of trying to figure out what it is. And then I just let it sit there for like a week, and then I inevitably don't figure out what it is, and then I throw it away. And then like the next day I figure it out, or something happens that causes me to figure it out, and then it's too late and I realize it was something I really needed.
Oh no. And you've pitched it already?
Yeah.
It takes you that long to figure it out. It was something you need?
It's always like the day after I throw it away. And I'm just like, why?
Huh.
And then I get mad at myself that I didn't.
Like a receipt or something?
No. So most recently it was this rubber like ring. And I was like, that looks like it's like a sealer for something. Like,
oh,
so
yeah.
I set it there. And then after 5 or 6 days, I was like, oh, well, like it has. So I threw it away. Literally the next day, I'm giving my 1.5-year-old a straw cup of water, and she starts to carry it off, and it's just pouring out the side of the cup where like the lid meets the cup. And I was like, what? And I take it and I'm like, I couldn't get the lid screwed all the way on. And then I realized that it was the sealant ring for that cup.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah.
Dang.
So
yeah, it's not like something you could just replace either.
no, I had to just throw the cup away.
Oh, bummer.
I mean, I recycled it, but
that's
still.
super gripey.
Yeah. My other gripe is, particularly for this Mac computer, there's absolutely no reason for there to be 2 charging ports on one side of the computer.
Yeah.
Because the outlet could be on the other side.
Right.
And then you're wrapping the damn cord around to the other side.
And the cord's not that long.
And no. So
who
designed that? Is it intentional? Is this person just being like,
no, they also failed really hard. The Apple mouse, you can't charge it and use it at the same time because the charging port is on the bottom of the mouse.
Right.
Put it on the side.
Yeah.
Put it on the back so you can
Put it
use
on
it
the
at
top.
the same time. Like that seems so obvious. Like such a design flaw. But
like, who are these people? They're supposedly the top minds of the world.
You guys work at Apple. You're supposed to be the best. I know. They flubbed it pretty hard.
Yeah.
Boys. No, I've noticed that too.
Get your shit together.
Yeah. And just like every year it's a different charger, which is like a whole other thing. But
yeah.
Well, good gripe. Or the second one?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I've concluded my gripes.
Nice. My gripe is I think I'm finally figuring out how not to procrastinate.
All right.
I think I have finally hit a stride where I've started working on projects and I'll
You're learning
work
time
a little
management?
bit at a time as opposed to like avoiding and then be like, well, I'll just work on it for 12 hours.
Yeah. I'll just get up at 5:30 a.m. tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll just bust it out, just really bust it out all in one day since I procrastinated. And yeah, I've had a couple freelance jobs lately where I've like really just put in
managed
an
your
hour
time
or 2.
well.
Yeah.
Good.
And I'm like, oh my gosh.
That's great.
Me. Yeah.
They do say it's a learned skill, so.
Yeah, it only took me 37 years.
Yeah. Better late than never. Better late than never, folks.
I'm there though. My gripe. It's so funny, my list that I keep going. 1 grape.
Yeah.
7 gripes.
72 gripes.
Maybe that should be my gripe. My gripe this time goes out to Zins are a new thing, but people throwing them on the ground.
Those the smoking things?
Yeah, like the little pouches, little white
tobacco pouches.
Do not throw your Zins on the ground. My dog eats them. Don't
disgusting. Do Zins. How about that?
I mean, I'm cool with Zins. Consume your Zins. It's better than smoking cigarettes,
I guess.
But don't throw them on the ground because my dog eats them like candy. Yeah. And they're everywhere now. It's like as bad as cigarette butts were. It's so annoying. Just trash in general.
I didn't mean to Zins shame, but it's like
it's okay. But
how is it different from 2?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's not like great for you.
In a pouch. How's it different from that?
I don't know what's in it.
Is it not slicing your gums open with fiberglass?
Yeah, I would imagine there's like better chemicals, but I have no idea.
There's better chemicals. The chemicals are better.
I mean, they're definitely chemicals. So like maybe they're void of some chemical. That I have no clue.
I don't either.
I just don't care if people use them. Do whatever. Rot your mouth off. I don't give a fuck. Just don't put them on the ground when you're done with them.
Right.
Because my dog eats them, then I have to pull them out of her mouth.
Right.
With my hands. It's gross.
I feel like that's the problem with all of it, though.
with all trash
or just
littering in general.
The tobacco products in general. It's like, I don't want to be around your secondhand smoke.
Yeah.
And I don't want my dog eating your zins.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't want to pick your cigarette butts off the ground.
Right.
Yeah. No, and just like litter
tobacco
in general.
responsibly, people.
Yeah. Litter in general, I'm so it's everywhere. It's
litter,
crazy.
Yeah.
There's just trash all over, and I don't think I was as cognizant as I am now, because my dog literally puts everything in her mouth.
Right.
And I'm like, God,
yeah.
there is
how many
trash
times,
everywhere.
Yeah. You know how many times my child's picked up a cigarette butt on the playground? Yeah. It's like, yeah. And I will say, people who litter are right up there with people who are mean to kids and animals for me.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's just like, what are you doing? Why?
Yeah.
There's so many other options.
When you see somebody just like toss something out the window of
oh
their car.
My God, that is the worst. Like full bags of fast food
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
I'm just like, you live here.
Yeah.
This is where you live.
It's
in their neighborhood.
I know.
Just like trashing you where you live. It's insane to me.
That's the worst kind of person. I just, yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. And yeah, and it really bothers me. Like there's my neighbor, I guess they had a birthday party or something, and they had all this like confetti stuff. It's like these plastic streamers, and they're all over the ground. Like these big plastic strings of stuff. They've been out there for over a week.
Yeah.
Like, are you going to pick this shit up or what? Like,
I know.
Ugh, irritates the piss out of me.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was a really ranty gripe.
Yeah, but it's a good one because, it's a super huge problem. And it's hard for me to believe that we're even living in a world where people just will throw something out the window of their car. Like, are you insane? Yeah. And I think that's our episode.
Yep. I didn't do my grape, but that's fine.
Oh. Sorry.
I don't really have a very... Oh, no, I did. I'm not procrastinating.
Let's end on an uplifting note.
No, I already did it. I'm not procrastinating anymore.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Podcast for the year over here. And that's our episode.
And that's our episode, folks.
All right. Love you guys. Bye.
See you next time.